All right, everybody. I had a crazy day today. Just had to be at the courts, of course, you know that. Came home. There was massive traffic jam for an hour and a half on Route 55. Actually, had to go back to BHS for something. Just got back, and it's 8:43. So I'm gonna make a quick video. I hope you're keeping me up with the assignments. I will be putting the grades in. It's just going to take me some time, but continue as though I'm doing it every minute. I will get there. Brochures, everything. So don't stop. I'll be Santa Claus. I'm checking things out. It just takes me some time here. I'll be here on Friday, and it's only that one day. So we'll see what we can get done. So I hope you're keeping up with chapter two. I'm sure some of you are kind of speeding along. Even if you've finished the chapter two, I don't think anybody has, but if you have, congratulations. But go back into the chapter because I'm going to be adding some things. I mean, even yesterday I forgot something, but that had to do with the law of diminishing returns. I wanted to say something about that, but I'm not going to talk about that tonight. I think when I see you on Friday, I'll talk about it. Everything's important, okay? In 2.2, it talks about economic systems. I'm just looking here. And the principles of a United States economy. Okay. This is a good time to talk about economic systems because, as I've said, the world is such right now that, a lot's going on. We have tariffs, trade wars, not big ones, luckily, but you have great competition within countries and entire countries competing against other countries. And you maybe you don't see it as much as a teenager because maybe you're not watching the news. Maybe you are. Forgive me if I'm wrong. But these things are going on, and you have to account for that because sooner or later it comes back to get you. Okay. By the way, if you see me look this way, I just get tired of looking at the camera, and I kind of see what's on the screen when I do this. So forgive me. Okay, so the book talks about different types of economies, and this is where things get really muddy, okay? Because, in politics, you have one side calling the other side socialist, another one calls people fascists, and it gets kind of crazy. And I think where I first want to begin with is that we have political systems, governmental systems, and they're not the same as economic systems. They're two different things. Governmental systems have to do with rules, like we have a republic, a representative democracy. We vote, majority wins. Not always, but that's the way it's supposed to be. Other countries might have theocracies where religions control the country, but it has to do with rules. Those are monarchies like kings and queens. Certain countries do certain things that are different than us as far as how they play the rules. Okay, and you're used to a democratic system. Okay, now that's for your history class, and we could certainly talk about that here, but I'm not in class, so I've got to limit this video because I got to keep your attention. What we're talking about today is economic systems. That should be right above. Okay. The green screen's not really working real well here. I'm trying, folks. Yeah. Ugh. Okay. Economic systems. And I think I had told you that economics is about how, generally speaking, or broadly speaking, it's about how money is distributed, how it moves. And money moves different ways in different countries. So in our economic system, we have what's called a market economy. Okay. We have businesses, and we know that we have people who go to these businesses to purchase products. Even the government purchases products. So in a market economy like ours, businesses are all over the place, they thrive. And we go to them for the products, and they try to satisfy our needs, which goes back to what I said yesterday about Maslow and their needs. Okay, now not all countries do that type of thing, but each country has to answer some important questions, and there are three of them. So first of all, let's look at the three questions in terms of our market system. So the first thing is what goods have to be produced? What goods are we going to produce? What's important to us? Well, in a place like North Korea, it's important to nuclear weapons and atomic plants and things like that. And the people don't decide. Now, do we decide what products are produced? I mean, we do have nuclear weapons and we do have an army and power plants and all. But in general, most of the products that we see are produced by businesses. But it's not really the businesses that really start it. It's really you and me. When you decide that you like those Nike sneakers, that helps Nike do well. And just you choosing to buy something creates a demand. And if you have a product that people like, well then, if it's the right price, they might buy it. So what goods are going to be produced? In our economy, the consumer or the people really determine what's going to be produced. If you don't like pink jeans, they're not going to make them, right? Just like at the school cafeteria, if they give you sardine tacos, you're probably not going to eat them if there's sardines in there. Most people wouldn't. It's what you like. So what's fast and easy? The pizza. So on Fridays, they serve pizza. So the kids generally like it, generally. But that's the kind of way it works in a market economy. The people decide just by what they like. Okay? So what goods to produce? I'll make this a little smaller here. All right. The next thing. If you're going to decide finally on your product, which one you're going to produce, you have to decide how is it going to be produced. I mean, if you're going to, make all these whatever you decide to make, pink jeans or, I don't know, certain cars like a Maserati, you have to figure out how to do it. And just saying you want the product isn't good enough. You have to be able to actually do it or get the right people to do it. So if you need to run a business where there's a lot of, manufacturing involved or something like that, you better find somebody who knows what they're doing. Because if you don't, chances are it's going to fail. So you figure out, number one, what are we going to make? It could also be a service, by the way. I've left that out, but I'm just too tired to type it out. But it could be a product or a service. You could have a nail salon or something like that, or a hair salon. So what are you going to make? How are you going to do it? And the final one is, well, for whom? For whom shall we produce the product? Well, they're not going to produce Maseratis for me because I can't afford it. And unless I don't know something that you can't afford the Maserati either. We're on the same team here. So you have to decide for whom. Who's going to get this product? Okay. And that's a big question that you'll have to ask yourself. It's to do with target markets and things like that. But each system as a whole, a country, has to decide. And we have a wide sampling of products, array of products across the country. As you know, you just go to a store, a mall, or look on Amazon. I mean, there's millions of different products. Okay. Not all countries do that. Okay. Just not all of them do that. But for a market economy, they all do it this way. Okay. What goods are produced? Those goods which the people demand. How are you going to do it? Well, you figure it out. For whom? It's usually the people, but it can be for the government also. Okay, so that's a market economy, and that's very general. But those are good questions to ask. In a market economy, businesses generally supply the goods, and entrepreneurs are a big part of that. Now, there's a command economy in which the government decides everything. That was the old Soviet Union, but it's still kind of like Cuba and North Korea. Now, you might say, well, how about China? Well, China has a communist ruled government, but their economic system is still a market economy, or mixed. It's hard to really say. I'll get into that. So, command economy, those three questions there, the government decides everything. Even if you want those Nike sneakers, if they don't want to produce them, you're not getting them. Okay? And they'll decide how it's produced. They may force you to make the things. Okay, so you have on one side the market economy, and that's the people and the businesses. The other side, you have the command economy, where the state or where the government decides. And then you have something called a mixed economy, which is kind of in between. Now, at one time, China, the government decided everything. Now despite the fact they have a communist government, their economy is essentially a market economy. They let the businesses thrive. I mean, it helped them produce a lot. And how do they do it? Well, people were going to make money. So there's things called mixed economies. Okay? Some people say that we have a mixed economy. Why? Well, we have certain programs which are not really from a market economy. We have things like welfare, Social Security. These are more state-type programs, and they're effective. So I'm not trying to say one's better than the other. Sometimes you have a mix. And some people have different opinions of what's going on. I'd like to think that I know the right answer. And I'm pretty sure I do. But I'll just tell you for the sake of the class is that there is argument over whether we're a mixed economy or not, but we are. Okay. So we have a market, a command, and a mixed. Now, we're considered a market economy, even though we have mixed things like Social Security and welfare, and like we have the Army taking care of us. We don't have like private armies. You don't have a jet fighter in your backyard. So, but we're still considered market. The last one is called the traditional. That's like an old society. Like you live on an island and they just kind of share and help each other. It's rare these days. You don't see much of that anymore. So I tend not to discuss that all that much. So again, you have your market, which is kind of like what ours is. You have your command, where the government answers all those three questions. And then you have the mix, which are the three questions, but it gets really murky on who answers what. Okay? Now, I could go on in 2.2. I won't, though, because I know some of you still need to do 2.1. So I've changed the dates around so you can do it. And I'll see you on Friday. Don't forget to do your work. Be good for the sub. Thank you.